Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's new English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. How is everybody today? Are you all having fun? You are? Fantastic! Are you ready to have some more fun, this time in English? Great! Well, let's get started with today's lesson. Now, first things first. Do you remember the Benchfield family? You do? That's great! That makes my job much easier. Okay, so who do we know in the Benchfield family? Well, originally we met Alfredo and Mary and their 4 children, Tim, John, Elizabeth and Doreen. Then, in week 9, that's 2 weeks ago, we met Alfredo's parents. Do you remember? That's right. Alfredo's dad is called Jeffrey. Bye! And Alfredo's mum is called what? Good, you remember. Alfredo's mum is called Holly. All right, good. Now, do you remember the relationships between the family members? You do? Great. Okay, well, let's check the relationships between the family members. Okay, let's start with Alfredo and Mary. Alfredo is Mary's husband and Mary is Alfredo's wife. Okay, OJ. Now, what about the relationship between Alfredo and the kids? Okay, well, Alfredo is Tim, John, Elizabeth and Doreen's father or dad. Tim and John are Alfredo's sons and Elizabeth and Doreen are Alfredo's daughters. Alfredo's got 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. Good. Now, what about Mary's relationship with the kids? That's right. Mary is Tim, John, Elizabeth and Doreen's mother or mum. Tim and John are Mary's sons and Elizabeth and Doreen are Mary's daughters. Mary's got 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. Okay, and what about the relationship between the kids? Well, John and Tim are brothers. Elizabeth and Doreen are sisters. John's got 1 brother, Tim, and 2 sisters, Elizabeth and Doreen. Tim's got 1 brother, John, and 2 sisters. Elizabeth's got 2 brothers, John and Tim, and she's got 1 sister, Doreen. Doreen's got 2 brothers, John and Tim, and she's also got 1 sister, Elizabeth. Now, did you spot what we used to talk about possession? That's right. We used the form of have got plus noun. Do you remember when we use it? Correct-a-doodle monkey see monkey do. We use the form have got plus noun when we're talking about possession, when we're talking about things that belong to me or to you or to someone else. We use the form of have got plus noun to talk about objects. I've got a watch. I've got a ring. I've got a pair of glasses. And we use the form of have got plus noun to talk about appearance. I've got blue eyes. She's got blonde hair. They've got long black hair. We also use the form have got plus noun to talk about our families. I've got a sister. My sister's got 3 children, a son and 2 daughters. Good. Now, Do you remember the form of have got? Mabel showed us a table. Do you want to see it again? Okay, Mabel, you heard the people. Show us the table. Okay, well that's simple enough. We all remember that we have to be careful with the third person singular, he, she, it, because the spelling for the verb to have changes in the third person singular. All of the other forms are have got, but the third person singular is has got. So, I've got 2 legs and 2 arms. You've got 2 legs and 2 arms, but she's got 2 legs and 2 arms. Okay, now, what about the negative? How do we use the have got form to say that someone doesn't have something? Mabel had a table for that too. Mabel, the gods of English would like to see the next table, please. Great! Thanks, Mabel. Okay, so, as usual, we use the word not to make the negative. We put not between have and got. Have got becomes have not got, or, in the short version, haven't got. And can't. We use can and can't to talk about ability, things I know how to do. I can drive a car, for example. Pishti can fly helicopters and planes. We also use can to talk about possibility. I'm free this evening, so I can come to the pub with you. I'm working on Saturday morning, so I can't play football. Okay, so we know that we use can to talk about things we know how to do. Pishti knows how to fly a helicopter. He can fly a helicopter. We use can to talk about things which are possible. I can go to the cinema with you because I'm not working now. The negative is cannot, but we all use the short version, can't. We use can't to talk about things that we don't know how to do. I can't speak Chinese. Ping pong, ching wing, ping pong. We use can't to talk about things which are impossible. I can't understand you. I don't speak Chinese. Also, this week, we learned that we use can in questions. On the telephone, for example, I say, "Can I speak to Alfredo, please?" This isn't a question about ability. Of course, I can speak to Alfredo. I can open my mouth and talk to Alfredo. When we ask a question using can, we're actually asking if it's possible to do something or if it's okay to do something. If I ask, "Can I speak to Alfredo, please?" I'm asking the question, is Alfredo there? My question is it possible to speak to Alfredo? Is he there? If I ask the question, "Can I open the window?" am I asking if you think I'm strong enough to open a window? No! I'm asking you if it's okay. When I'm in a shop and I ask, "Can I have a can of vanilla Coke?" I'm not asking if it's possible. I'm asking the cashier to sell me the Coke. I'm asking the cashier to help me buy the drink. Okay, groovy. Now, this week, we also looked at the present simple and the present continuous. We looked at them in comparison. We compared them. Do you remember what the verb to compare means? What a silly question, Gav. These people aren't ordinary mortals. They're gods of English. Of course they remember. Okay, that's true. I forgot that all of you out there in Hungarian TV land are gods of English. We are gods of English. We know more letters than the Jackson 5. Jackson 5? Pah! Michael, Boris, Baylor, George and Janet. They know A, B and C. Pah! Child's play. We are the gods of English. We know all the vowels and all the consonants. We know all the letters in the English alphabet. Okay, back to the present simple and the present continuous. So, the verb to compare means to look at two or more things and see what is the same and what is different. Do you remember the kids' game we talked about? Spot the difference. Spot the difference is a game where we look at normally two pictures and try to see what's different between the two pictures. Sometimes it's very easy. Can you spot the difference between these two photos? Here's photo A and here's photo B. Okay, that's pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, but sometimes spot the difference can be very difficult. Can you spot the difference between these two photos? Here's the first one and here's the second one. See? This one's very difficult. Anyway, back to the tenses. We looked at when we use the present simple tense and compared it to when we use the present continuous tense. We know that Darth Vader's job is to kill people and to destroy planets and things. But when we saw him, he was reading a magazine, chatting, drinking coffee and doing other things. So, we use the present simple for general things, things which don't change, things which are permanent, things we always, usually or sometimes do. We use the present continuous to talk about things which are happening now. It's raining. I can see the streets are wet. I can see the water falling from the sky. I can see puddles in the street. I can see people walking with umbrellas. I can see people driving with their windscreen wipers on. I can see all these things now. I'm looking out of the window and I can see these things now. It's raining now. Okay, that's all the time we have for today's lesson. We're out of time. Okay, well, I had fun today. I hope you had fun too. You have been watching me, Gav Duncan, on M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan, not Deadpool, and I don't have a metal haircut. I'll see you next lesson for some more English fun. We're out of here like Vladimir. See you later.